mother of 3 children, and my oldest was born with severe heart defects and autism. She has gone through 27 surgeries to extend her life, but she was so traumatized by the age of 5 that she no longer wanted to live. But with the help of 1 or 2 very gifted psychologists, she's now 19, living independently, engaged to be married, and wants to live. So you could say I'm a big fan of good psychologists. But psychologists are people too, and sometimes they lose their way. 2 years ago, I encountered a psychologist who's in this room who lost her way. She violated board rules and devastated our family. Even as a person, I'm an attorney with education, resources, and tenacity. I found it very difficult to file a complaint against this psychologist. She's a former board member, Dr. Alissa. It has haunted me that I haven't spoken up. It's been years. I'm shaking also. I'm a former advocate for children involved with CPS, and now I work to educate judges about mental health. If I don't feel safe speaking up, then who does? In my case and in many others, it appears the financial gain of writing reports like this for $20,000, $30,000, $100,000 is just too tempting. An out-of-town psychologist reviewed our Dr. Sherry report and found obvious bias. She cited selective reliance in reporting, much of the things you've heard today, omission of relevant clinical information, puzzling recommendations were her words with questionable relevance. To me, after meeting with other families, it appears Dr. Sherry picks a winner and then writes an opinion around that winner. And the winner often is the person who's paying or the person who hires the attorney with whom she has the best relationship. And there's significant barriers to filing a complaint after it's all over. Dr. Sherry requires, even though she has spent time on this board, up front that you sign something waiving your right to complain about her. I don't think that's valid. I haven't tried to challenge it yet, but I don't think that's legal. I've exhausted all of my resources. I had to sell my home, move my kids to a rental home, borrowed from every family member I know to finance an attorney that she would respect and back down. I can't afford to go back to court to challenge this unethical behavior. But to combat this type of abuse, I urge this board to create an ombudsman. I don't know what your budget is. I don't know if that's possible. But to also strive for greater transparency. I applaud you that your website made the rules accessible and had some transparency, but there was no announcement at this meeting. And in fact, the only way I found out is that Dr. Sherry had sent a note to her colleagues urging to come tell you about how all the crazy people are coming to complain and harass her. And so someone forwarded me that email. She spoke for you. She spoke for the board in this email and said, the board is beginning to recognize the problems of frivolous complaints and is sensitive to possible unmet mental health needs of children and families. Well, I'm here today as one of those people Dr. Sherry would call frivolous. And the mental health needs of my children went unmet for years because Dr. Sherry opined that even though 7 other doctors had diagnosed my child with OCD for many years and treated him, she opined that my child did not have OCD, but that my parent alienation had given him OCD-like symptoms. Dr. Sherry never met this child. This wasn't a custody evaluation. This was just a psych eval of me and my ex-husband. When questioned about this in court, my child's treating psychologist, Dr. Kevin Stark of UT, stated that Dr. Sherry's opinion about this was psychobabble. Unfortunately, wealthy people can purchase psychobabble, and it's working. For a living, I help courts try to see through problems and systems improvement. And so you can imagine how frustrating that would be to be someone who is fixing problems in courts for a living and then suffering through this in silence. Courts have no way of knowing about these abuses. I couldn't tell the judge. I couldn't tell anyone. My lawyer warned me that if Dr. Sherry was angry with me, that it would negatively affect my case. And the family law community, as you've heard, is very tight-knit. They depend on each other for their next case. So even colleagues who said she's completely lost her way, she's for the highest bidder now, have said, don't say I said that. I'm going to have my next case with her on the other side. So even these witnesses refuse to speak up to save their own livelihood. When desperate parents give bad reviews on Yelp to warn other families, She replied on the internet that these pages and pages of terrible reviews should be ignored because they're written by disgruntled former clients with mental illness. Recently, several families who have been nearly destroyed by psychologists like this found each other, and we've agreed to file complaints in numbers, hoping that they wouldn't be dismissed then. Dr. Sherry is aware of this, and it may explain the next part of her email that she sent to all of her colleagues before this meeting. She said social media has created a way for these individuals to congregate, to contribute, and to encourage each other's narrative in a way that is destructive to our system. Well, I'm one of those individuals. Dr. Sherry would have you lump me in a category of crazy people, even though I've never had a diagnosis, and Dr. Sherry didn't diagnose me either. And she would have you dismiss our complaints. In my case, the court saw through the puffery of the report, ordered my ex to help pay for his daughter's adult disabled support, and made me the decision maker of our mental health, of my children's mental health. But I don't think it should have cost me a year's salary and the sacrifice of my home and countless days of toxic stress to combat an ethical report. I understand this board's concern about the need for efficiency and safety. I have the same concerns. But I would like you to exercise extreme caution when you're thinking of adopting policies that psychologists can use to silence people like me. People that you need to hear from, to hear where the system is broken, because that's your mission. After today, I am going to file a complaint, and I hope that my voice will help you to do your job to protect the public.